Well, the Georgia Guidestones are no more.
They're fucking gone.
What's going on, all you mystery seekers? Welcome back to the Weekday Weird. We're diving in to the Georgia Guidestones.
Many of you might have seen that they blew up this past week.
They did, and it's kind of sad, man. I'm like, everybody's running amok these days. It is what it is, but they're gone. Freaking 1980, they came up, boom. 2022, they're gone.
Yeah,
Short-lived.
they let 42 years.
42 years, that was it, and boom, they're done.
Yeah, they're commonly referred to as American Stonehenge.
Which, when I did some research, there is an American Stonehenge in New Hampshire.
Really?
Did you know that?
No, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
it's in Salem, New Hampshire.
Okay.
There's a park that is called American Stonehenge. Because when I first typed this in, because I know they were called the Georgia Guidestones, and I was watching the video of the car that pulled away after they blew it up. But then I was like, oh, American Stonehenge. I always knew like it was referred to that. There's a whole website dedicated to this other American Stonehenge. But that's another story.
For another day.
Yeah. So this monument, the Georgia Guidestones, is in Elberton County, Georgia.
Yeah, it's about 15 miles over the border from South Carolina in like the northeast part of Georgia.
And there were 6 granite slabs, a little over 19 feet 3 inches high. It's about 5.87 meters tall.
Roughly.
And they're about 237 pounds. Kilograms is 107.
What? I don't 107. Sure. Sounds
it's
about
heavy.
Sounds about right.
It's pretty heavy. And this gentleman in June of 1979 came to this county because he's like, oh, this is perfect. There's granite stones here. This would be perfect if there was a catastrophic event. Mm-hmm. So like, I guess a hurricane or any kind of tornado or anything that they were thinking of at the time. But I guess they weren't thinking about
somebody blowing it up now.
You know,
they didn't think about that. Plus, like, they're solid slabs of granite, so that takes a lot to bring them down. Yeah.
They wanted to put it up because I guess it is a Christian group that originally came.
Yeah, supposedly, like, he represented a group that wanted to not restore like world order, but like just give a guidance of how we should live. He later came out with a book, Common Sense Renewed.
Yeah, he did. It was in the late 80s, 86, I believe it came out. And then the creators of this were looking to the humanity of social, nuclear, economic calamity and wanted to kind of say like, all right, if we do blow ourselves up, you could say 10 commandments. You could say rules to live by. You could say guidance for humanity.
And like, I wouldn't say like the 10 rules or whatever they put on the stones, whatever you want to call them, are very controversial, except the first one.
Well, they weren't controversial when it was erected. Robert C. Christian went to this granite company of Elberton County and he said, hey, this is what I want to build. They were like, yeah, are you sure you really want to build this?
Yeah, they tried to talk him out of it. They thought he was like crazy and not whatever.
And they upped the price.
They did up the price.
They upped the price and then he's like, yep, we're going to do it. And in today's money, it would have been, I think, like $400,000.
Yeah, back then it was $100,000, roughly.
Yeah, that's still a decent amount of money, even for today. Like, if you had $100,000 just laying around, hey, I just want to build this monument.
Like, my thought is maybe he was part of tourism thing because it brings annually about 20,000 people to the area, to the town, and they have a museum there. So, I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it was. And when this first was erected, it wasn't really a big deal. Because I think only 200 to 300 people actually showed up for the dedication.
Yes, U.S. Senator gave remarks about the Guidestones itself. What he said was, it was a message. In order to avoid debate, the sponsors of the Georgia Guidestone have a simple message for human beings now and for the future. We believe our precepts and are sound, and they must stand on their own merits. Meaning like these 10 commandments or 10 whatever you want to say, like, are sound in mind and they speak for themselves.
Was that they served as a marker for a time capsule buried underneath the granite slabs. Today, we learned from the Elbert County Sheriff's Office that the whole area was excavated, but no time capsule was found.
It didn't cause a lot of controversy at the time, but then later on, it kind of did. It came with all these conspiracy theorists that started saying, all right, satanic worship could be like the UFO landings here. This is something like so much bigger than us. Like, there was all these myths, I guess you'd say, folklore, legends that started to associate itself with the Georgia Guidestones.
Again, like I don't, the only one I could see being controversial in nature is the population control. That's the only one.
Yeah, if people don't realize like what it is, it's not just this Stonehenge like you see in Europe. And supposedly they got their, inspiration for it when they took a trip out there, but they said that there was no message. There was no
Which
message.
do you think, like on the Stonehenge way back in the day, maybe there was a message?
There could have been.
Or do you think that was just a spot where they just like did rituals?
Maybe it was just a ritual spot. Maybe it was just, their form of church back in the day. Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of speculation. Same thing with this, because we don't know who the actual group or person really is. They never released that name. It's been 42 years. We still don't know. Pretty much kept it under lock and key, like everybody that did have association with this. But then not only that, they made it to be like a compass, a map, a calendar.
Yeah, like the sun solstice, they would have they had a hole in it, they had a slit in it, kind of all encompassing. It's pretty sweet, to be honest with you. Like, you're big into history and everything like that, so like, wouldn't you want to like get a group of like-minded people together, put out like your theory on like where you would love to see the world go?
Well, yeah, but then that's where it causes controversy, because it's like, all right, my group, it's
Correct,
like not
yeah.
your group. It is weird what we're living in, without getting like political or anything. It's weird that people feel the need, it has been defaced before. It has been like, there's been sacrifices or devil worship there, candle burning.
Somebody
things like
did
that
try
over
to
the
like,
year.
I think destroy it one time. I remember watching something way back in the day that they had a security guard posted there.
Well, yeah, they have security cameras there. They have
to
a
make
fence
sure
there.
defaced or destroyed.
Yeah, because anything that has some type of mystery, but then also is very popular, you're always going to have people that try to do something to like make their mark.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Mona Lisa. I think it was like a month ago.
Oh, yeah, they
where
put-
somebody was throwing stuff at her.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
whipped cream or
Yeah, so
like
there's
cream pie.
always something where there is a big enough legend, big enough monument, big enough anything. There's always going to be groups or people trying to tear that thing down.
Yeah, which is sad.
It really is. But these 10 guides, or whatever you want to call them, rules, regulations, things like that, was written in 8 different languages.
Yes.
It was written in English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindu, Hebrew, Arabic, and tradition Chinese and Russian.
Yep. Because that was like the most used language back then.
Yeah, and
The 10 inscriptions read, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Number 2, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Number 3, unite humanity with a living new language. Number 4, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with a tempered reason. 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6, let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. 8, balance personal rights with social duties. 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. 10, be not a cancer on the earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature.
yeah, the only thing you could really say is, all right, the population, was it really population control? And that was, I think, in every documentary that I ever watched on the Georgia Guidestones, it always talked about that. It was always like, they really wanted population control. They really wanted this. They wanted like, but then, yeah, if you read the other ones and you really look at it and say, all right, let me look at it objectively.
Yeah.
Understandable, but then it's also people that are very tribal. Like, say if we're really into like just the United States, and then it says unite humanity with one new language.
Sure.
I think that would be really hard.
I think that would be really
Unless
hard.
there was like some type of catastrophic event where like an asteroid hit the earth. Because then other than that, there's just too many cultures rooted in their traditions and their own language. So I think some of that is kind of
Yeah, I mean,
far-fetched.
I think it's just a way to give people a way to communicate easier and break down, I guess, cultural barriers. That's the only reason I would say that.
But then again, like if they're thinking to the future, and this is what I always talk about on anything when it's government doing conspiracy shit, or it's just something like this, whether there's this group that has a nefarious agenda where they're like, we want to control the population. But then it's like, all right, 42 years and nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened.
So,
and like the other laws, like, or the other, whatever you want to say, inscriptions or whatever.
Guidelines.
Yeah, we're like guidelines, like a world court. We basically have that.
Yeah.
You know, the United Nations, NATO, and everything like that. They didn't want war to break out, which is understandable. So I think that's also a good rule.
Well, yeah, then the last one too, just be not a cancer on this earth, leave room for nature.
Yeah, which we talk about that all the time. I mean, look at all the animals and species that
are being pushed out
because
of
mankind is killed.
Building and building. Yeah, think about like all that stuff that's in our own backyard here in the state of weird New Jersey.
Yeah.
They just keep building and building on every plot of land. And the politicians here always say like, oh, you know, we got to help the environment, but you're letting all this, you know.
Yeah, construction and all this pollution happen, yeah.
These big corporation buildings from Amazon to, you know, just like these condos that fit 500-600, you know, units in it. And it's just like, all right, where are all these people going to school? Where are all these people, you know, going to be driving around? We're already busy as it is.
Yeah, it's going to suck.
I get it, but then anything like this can be controversial.
Well, that and like the law thing, right? Just you should have like simple and effective laws.
Yeah.
And
no useless officials.
Yeah, cut out all the useless officials. Like think about it. Especially like when this nation was stood up, like they wanted a little government because they came from, you know, tyranny.
Well, yeah, there's been both sides, you know, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. What do they want? And people have always been arguing about this through time. So,
sure.
I mean, this is maybe just a good Samaritan says like, hey, if I ran a country, maybe this is how I would do it. Maybe it was really just one person. It wasn't a group. Even though he said he was representing a group. Maybe it was just one person that said, you know what? I'm tired of all the crap that's going on. He's living in the 70s, 80s. He's probably saw same stuff that's going on today.
Yeah, basically.
And then just said, you know what? If I ruled the land, this is kind of how I would try to be just, but then also have some rule and order.
Yeah, which makes sense.
I don't know. I never knew these things to be like a conspiracy. Anytime when people were like, and that's the only thing that they harped on, like I said in these documentaries, was population control.
Yeah, it was just a mystery of like, you didn't know who put them up. So people assume it's like a nefarious group. And then the first thing is 500 million. So you put those two things together. And I think people thought it was bad. I really never thought that. I think it's a cool like symbol, cool thing, and would have loved to go to visit them.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but like there's no mystery to it, you know? Like I like stuff that is like ghost or, you know, UFO landing. But besides, we don't know who the group or person really was. Besides
Benjamin
that,
Franklin.
like there's nothing that would say to me like, oh my God, that we have to like check this place out because it's so spooky. And I don't think there was anything throughout the 42 years that this was still standing. There was any kind of...
No, I don't think so.
Like, ooh, ghost sightings.
And no groups were ever tied to it either.
Right. Even though people did deface it all the time, like New World Order or something like that. And just, it is what it is. I mean, it is cool because they put so much thought into it. And
they did,
when you look back into the history of it, it says the group or person took 20 years to do this.
Which is awesome.
So to think about that too, even if you want to rewound like to the 1960s, there was a lot of shit going on too.
There was.
So, and then you fast forward to the 80s when they were actually being built. You have to say like, all right, they put a, you know, calendar so people could actually look at the way the moon and the sun rises, and it's a compass, it's a, you know, a clock, and it gives you some guidelines. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. It's sad to see that they were destroyed. There was one part of the video, which I don't know if this, like, it just looks this way. Maybe it's this way the security camera was running, but it looks like he was riding a bike almost. Did he have a bike or was he just running?
I think he was running, and then he jumped in his car.
It's like, it's just one person.
Yeah, it was one person. They still don't know who it is. If you have any information, call America's Most Wanted.
Is that show still on?
I don't know, but it'd be awesome.
That would be pretty sweet if it was.
We should get that old number. I think it was 1-800-TIPS.
No, it wasn't.
1-800-TIPS. 1-800-GOT-TIPS.
If you have any information, call our tip line.
1-800-CRIME-TV.
I don't even know if that was really the America's Most Wanted number.
That would be great.
Funny.
That would be
Put it
great.
at the bottom. Give it a call. Yeah, so wrapping this up. I mean, we don't have anything spooky. It can't be thumbs up spooky, thumbs down not spooky.
It's not a spooky thing, but it's it's kind of like a conspiracy, and now it's gone.
But do you think now there's a conspiracy inside the conspiracy?
Well, some people are posting online, right, that if you look at what time the thing actually blew up, it was 4:33 in the morning. And they're like, do you know what 33 means?
I don't know. It would have been cool like if it was like an hour earlier. It could have been like in the witching hour.
Yes.
So I don't know. This one is not spooky to me. I'm giving it a thumbs down. It's the dick move, but it's not spooky.
It's not spooky, but I really hope they rebuild it.
For what though?
Because like I like what it thing stands for.
Yeah, I can
Just
care
like
less
be
either
good to
way.
people, be good to nature, be good to the earth.
Thumbs up for Greg, thumbs down for me.
You just hate to see things being destroyed.
I mean, I do too. Like, and especially if it is history and it has ties to history. This one, I don't think really has ties to history besides being like a mystery. Other than that,
History's
it is.
greatest mysteries.
It's solved, and now probably never solved because no one cares anymore.
No,
I like
no.
how quickly like everything was updated. This was.
Yeah,
So-
it was. Yeah, it basically got updated like the next day. Back, and the town took down the remaining stones
Real quick. They're not gonna
like the
rebuild it.
next day.
Maybe the town of Elberton because it's in Elberton County,
Yes.
Georgia. Maybe they will because it was a big tourist spot.
Yeah.
So it did bring a lot of people in, or maybe they'll build something totally different and have a new inscription on it.
I would hope so, because I think that's kind of cool. Like that's like somebody going, our home state is blown up like the killer clown.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know?
That's been around for forever.
I know, but like imagine
kinda-
if people zoomed in on that and like was like, oh, it's conspiracy. The clown's killing people, and they blew it up. I would be pissed,
Yeah, I don't know.
especially if you live there for your life.
It is what it is to me.
All right,
It's not spooky.
let us know your thoughts in the comments below,
And if you know who did it, call 1-800-TRUE-CRIME-TV.
or 1-800 the hunt.
That's not the number.
It
Or
could
give
be
us a call, 732-660.
8893.
Wow.
Boom! Yes, bitches.
Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notification, follow along at nightmare365.com for all of our contact information. You better subscribe.
And until next time, stay spooky.
What's up, all you mystery seekers? Welcome back to the Weekday Weird. We thought we'd dive into a little history on the Georgia Guidestones.
Many people don't know it's American Stonehenge. What? Many people don't know that. It's American Stonehenge.
Many people don't know that.
What's what? Fool me once, shame on me. You can't fool me again.
That's a good one. I like that. I love that quote.
That they do.
We should put that in at the end with us.
What's what?
I can't get fooled again.
You can't fool me again.